welcome to MINDSHOCK. This is your host, Bruce McGuire, and you are listening to the Goofatorium series. This is episode 4. Street interviews revealing the level of edumacation of the common Westerner. What is going on now? Are we living in end times? Is society collapsing right in front of our eyes, and most people don't even notice? That's what we'll be exploring. All of this and more. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Patreon. Patreon is a good priority for case topic, logical analysis, co-podcast, or requests. You could also be a guest in the podcast depending on your tier. Questions, comments, theories, thoughts, suggestions, rebuttals, debunkings of any kind, leave them in the comment section. Or if you're with us here live, drop them in the live chat. I'll try to get to each and every one. You can also become a YouTube member right here on YouTube. Help support the channel that way. If you're not getting notifications, you can also become a free patron and get notifications through there. They work a lot better than YouTube. So welcome everyone here. Aaron Chin Chin, Psyop within a Psyop, Lord Zed, Truth Trollette, Flat Bob, Nominal. Yeah, sometimes I just think MINDSHOCK is an experiment in how much gophery one man can take. Wasn't envisioned that way, but that's kind of what it's becoming with all of the logical analyses. Alright, so, for whatever reason, I find Caitlin Bennett's Liberty Hangout videos some of the most goofy, some of the most worthy of goofery examinations. And we will continue here more. We've been picking on some youngins. We've been picking on the younger generation, the Z's and the Alphas or whatever, however you want to split generations. Let's go with some of the more old, middle-aged and geriatric goofs walking around. There's no shortage of those either. So let's see what we got here.
Do you want my...
Just from the image here, I think you guys can already tell what's coming.
money taken from your grandma? Do you want to not support battered women? Stand up and say it, fascists. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry. Let's hear ideas. You have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
You know what's interesting about a lot of these unhinged goofs? Like, their psychological projection is so on point. I mean, the racism, the hate, the greed, the stupidity. I mean, look at his subconscious exposing himself with such clear projection here. I mean, it's so on point. You have to marvel at how one part of the brain, the subconscious, can function so perfectly while the main conscious mind is completely gone. I mean, just the mysteries of the human mind here. The mysteries of the human mind, how the subconscious can be so dialed into reality and truth, while the conscious mind is so devoid of it. It's just very, very interesting psychological examinations here.
Hate, racism, and greed.
Do you think the dealership should, the vandalism that's going on there is okay?
I'll take the fifth on that one.
Would you say, like, please stop vandalizing the Tesla cars?
And you could also tell the maturity level and the class or lack thereof based on their signs. I mean, class has completely gone extinct here. I mean, look at these goofs. I mean, look at these middle-aged goofs just standing around, middle-aged into geriatric level goofs, standing around with these signs. I mean, regardless of what you believe, I mean, do they have no shame? I mean, let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's say everything they believe is true. Look at the presentation of how they're presenting it. I mean, could it be any more shameful and goofy and disgraceful? I mean, what kind of a functioning adult would behave this way? I mean, it's just crazy. Joe Neal asks, are we defending Musk in chat? Not at all, my friend. Not at all. We're just looking at the goofery here of these goofs. Because this is the Goofatorium series. Because there's a lot of goofs out there. Again, I do not claim anything is true or untrue, and Musk might be one of the biggest shills of them all. But again, just look at the goofery, because all of these brain-dead goofs here, they're all hating Musk for the wrong reasons anyway. I mean, that's what's kind of hilarious. Like, even if they're correct about his character, all of their actual points are completely wrong. I mean, it's hilarious. I am definitely not a fan of one Elon Musk, but I do find Musk derangement syndrome kind of hilarious. I mean, it's this fascinating offshoot of TDS. It's just very, very interesting psychologically examined.
Please stop vandalizing the Tesla cars.
Please stop vandalizing our government.
He's got charging stations everywhere. He is quietly taking over the country.
Aren't these the same goofs that want carbon taxes and green energy, and they want everybody to drive electric vehicles? Like, aren't these the same goofs? I mean, it's just kind of weird. Like, again, I do not advocate for any of these electric vehicles. I wouldn't trust any of them. I mean, especially once they start launching the EMPs, and I mean, it just, there's so many problems with that, not to mention they're far more destructive to the environment. But it's just weird, because these same anti-Musk goofs, these are the carbon tax bootlickers. I mean, it's just kind of weird. Lazarus says cognitive dissonance is a powerful tool. Flat Bob says Musk, Ron Hubbard. Aaron says taking over with charging stations. Good one. Truth Trollette says he's already taken over their minds, living rent-free up there. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else going on in the mind. See, that's another thing. Like, when people have others living rent-free, like TDS and MDS, I guess now, because there's nothing in the mind, there's nothing occupying that space, there's just nothing there. So pretty much, it's like monkey see, monkey do 4-year-old level, where they see something and then all of a sudden it lives rent-free because there's nothing else in there.
With the charging stations?
Yes.
What car should people buy that's an electric vehicle other than Tesla?
That I don't have an answer to. I haven't done a lot of research into alternatives.
We're here in Tampa today at a Tesla takeover event because people are big mad about money being saved. I'm undercover. It's Jenna today. Let's go see what everybody's whining about. We're in a Cybertruck right there. What do you think about the people who have been keying Tesla cars and Cybertrucks?
I don't think they should do that. I think that a lot of these owners purchased them way before Elon went out of his mind. And I think the dealerships is one thing. Somebody's personal car should be off. It's just not right.
Wow, this lady actually has some kind of dignity and class and character and respect for personal property. But what's curious here, she's thinking Elon wasn't always out of his mind. like what magically changed? But I mean, it's kind of surprising. Usually the level of goof with no job, nothing to do, no purpose in life, that's just waving around signs, usually they don't have this kind of character to respect personal property. So props to this lady. Props to this lady. I don't know how many of these so-called protesters would share that sentiment. Welcome, Heracles, Fire Pixie. When was the last time you were in here, Fire Pixie? Haven't seen you a little bit.
Do you think the dealership should, the vandalism that's going on there is okay?
I'll take the fifth on that one.
I guess I spoke too soon.
So not someone's personal cars, but maybe the dealership, that's up for...
Well, I don't think there should be destruction.
Okay.
I don't. I think it should be just a protest. I don't think there should be destruction.
Good. And do you think people who purchased a Tesla car in the past, and then now we realize how just crazy Elon Musk is, should they be selling that?
I don't think they can.
You don't think they can?
Who's going to buy them?
Well, that would be my next question.
Yeah.
One, who's going to buy them?
They can't sell them. They've lost value. No one's going to buy them.
Okay.
So they should be left alone.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. What is the worst thing Elon Musk has done?
The Nazi salute.
Oh, okay. That's the worst thing he's done?
As far as I'm concerned, that started. Yeah, no.
All right. So the actually the Anti-Defamation League, who is really, they kind of love pointing out when people are anti-Semitic or leaning towards the Nazi side. They actually defended Elon Musk and said that that was not a Nazi salute. What do you think about that?
They're full of shit.
Okay. All right. I love it. Straight to the point. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Got it.
Hi. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Thank you for being out here today. What do you think about Elon Musk?
I think the big problem our country faces is that people don't realize that Putin was trained by communists to create all this. It's the conservatives, the so-called conservatives, are kissing a communist. They don't realize that Putin was trained to make an idiot out of Trump.
Is this guy an actor? He's awfully theatrical. How much soy is flowing through this guy's veins? I mean, he's wearing a motorcycle company t-shirt, 69 on it. Los Angeles, the city of angels, city of fallen angels. Quite a fruity city. And just real quick for the other lady on Tesla sales. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if sales are down. So, the Model 3 and Y, I mean, there are dips, but for the most part, I mean, it's going up. The Model S, X, and Cybertruck, pretty steady. No major increase of any kind. So, yeah, interesting. I mean, obviously, that lady must have, who thinks that lady spent any time at all trying to verify how many sales of Tesla vehicles were going on and whether they increased, decreased, or stayed the same. But anyway, I mean, this is the level of goof we're dealing with. This guy looks completely unhinged, though. But, again, I'm not going to call him wrong. But, yeah. Fire Pixie says, whenever something's going on, it's a guarantee there's going to be a Fed around. Pretty much. Welcome, Bill. Joe Neal says, all of this is a good message from Musk, though. Don't try to subvert our democracy and rub it in our faces. What do you mean subvert? And what do you mean democracy? Isn't the United States a constitutional republic? And even if you believe in democracy, I mean, the voters voted for Trump largely because of Musk, because they like Musk. So it's weird, because a lot of goofs that are supposedly pro-democracy are not respecting the democracy because the people voted for what they wanted, which was Trump and Musk and Doge and everything that's going on, for the most part. Maybe not the exact minutia. Maybe it wasn't revealed how long, tariffs would take to see an effect, either positive or negative, because a lot of brain-dead goofs hallucinate that everything's just going to be magically either skyrocket up or collapse down, and you don't need to actually wait to see the result of anything. It's just weird. Yeah, the Founding Fathers hated democracy for a reason. Democracy's mob rule. And how smart is the mob? How ethical is the mob? How virtuous is the mob? Like, why would anybody want democracy? I mean, just the level of goofery.
That's our big problem.
What's the worst thing Elon Musk has done?
Come to this country and stirred up all this bullshit. He's not from this. He's not an American. He doesn't understand our Constitution.
Do you think people who come to this country and don't acclimate and understand our Constitution should be out?
No, but I don't think they should be immediately installed into political leadership positions just because they got money. I welcome everybody to this country. We need them. We need people. I'm an old man. Who's going to help me do all this stuff?
You gotta give this guy credit, though. He's not a complete vegetable. He saw where she was going with that. He saw where she was going with that, but he exposed himself anyway, because why feel the need to say that, make that statement that he came to this country and started all this? Even if he were an American and was here already and did the same thing, wouldn't that be the problem? Because this goof has issues with what Musk is doing. So where Musk came from, like, how is that relevant to what he's doing? Because even if Musk was, let's say, homegrown in America, but he did those same actions, clearly this goof has a problem with the actions. So why would he even bring up the worst thing he ever did was come to the country? Just the illogical goofery here on display. I mean, this is really delivering in the goofery. Aaron says, didn't the Founding Fathers restrict voting to landowners only? Oh man, you're opening up a can of worms, Aaron. You're opening up a can of worms. Now, I mean, so that's actually a really good topic. So in most cases, they would have deferred to the states. So Article 1, Section 2, electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for electors of the most numerous branch of the state legislature. So, I mean, effectively, it turned out that it was mostly male property owners, but theoretically, any taxpayer, even those who did not own land, could vote. And you know what's also curious for the brain-dead goofs that say women couldn't vote? In certain states, they could. So, for example, in New Jersey, female landowners could vote. So widows or unmarried women who were landowners could vote. I mean, prior to 1807, they had some change-ups too. But yeah, a lot of the brain-dead goofs don't know that. So, yeah, because, I mean, it's weird. I mean, there were millionaires. There was a woman who ran for president. I mean, just a lot of these brain-dead Democrat feminist goofs. I mean, they're just utterly clueless about all these great women who achieved great things and didn't cry and whine, even though obviously in their time period, opportunities and mentalities made it a lot more difficult to accomplish what they accomplished. But, yeah, it's amazing what you can get done when you're not whining and crying about things in an entitled fashion, and you just go out there and do it. Because obviously no two people are going to have, it's not as easy for any two people. Every human being has different attributes and different strengths and weaknesses. So it'll always be harder or easier for one person versus another, regardless of gender, regardless of any metric. And a lot of the brain dead goofs, like, they just can't mentally process that. Now let's get some receipts up in here. So, the first woman to run for president was Victoria Woodhull in 1872. So obviously if there was some kind of patriarchy preventing, keeping women down, they would have never allowed, they would have shut that down. Brain dead gifts don't know about her. First female self-made millionaire, the minority female Sarah Breedlove. She died in 1919, made her fortune before that. Again, the brain dead goofs just don't celebrate. I mean, you would think that they would celebrate these minority women who accomplished all these great things, but it runs counter to their narrative of the patriarchy not allowing this. It runs contrary to their narrative. I mean, even in the 60s, Muriel Seibert actually bought a seat on the New York Stock Exchange. She wasn't crying and whining. She just did it. I mean, just the level of goofery from Democrat feminists. I mean, it's kind of like, it's almost like a competition. Who can be the most brain dead? But anyway, let's get back to this before this aside gets too long.
Not get old if we don't have some immigrants here that are willing to help.
Do you have children?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of SOL then, huh?
Yeah, well, I had difficulty as a kid, so I didn't want to have kids.
Sorry.
It was a conscious decision.
Yeah.
Then when I got old enough to have kids, it was too late.
I love your shirt. Yeah,
Can anybody decipher that? When he was old enough to have kids, it was too late? So he can't have kids now? He couldn't have kids when he was 30 or 20 or 18? So as soon as he was able to have kids, so I'm assuming that means post-puberty, it was too late? What does that mean? Can anybody decipher this guy's words here? I mean, I have no clue what this goof is talking about. And notice how quickly he interjected there. It was a conscious decision. It was a conscious decision. I mean, is that cope? I mean, I don't know. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Welcome, Justin Johnson. Fire Pixie says, definitely a Fed, and that was a Fed answer and a way out. Wait, are you guys in the chat actually arguing about the votes? Oh man. Oh man. The one and only Shiva Ayyadurai unequivocally proved the issues that occurred with Biden and that so-called election. But I mean, this chart really sums it all up here. I'll put it on the screen. I mean, this chart really sums up everything you need to know. This is from Zero Hedge. I mean, this is all you need to know. The level of goofery that takes place in elections. I mean, it's kind of obvious. Again, I don't claim anything is true or untrue, but I mean, you know, just doing basic math. I mean, it's not tough. I mean, when you got so many dead people voting, I mean, it's just, you know. All right, let's get back to the task at hand here. The dissection of goofery.
Can I get your shirt on camera?
Absolutely.
That is hilarious. Canada is not for sale.
Absolutely. We're proud Canadians here.
Are you a Canadian?
Yes.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay. Why are you protesting outside of Tesla today?
Well, we're very concerned about the things that are happening in the Trump administration, and Elon Musk is at the heart of so much of it.
What's the worst thing he's done so far?
This is not the time or place to even enumerate it. It's very upsetting. We're here to raise awareness.
Right, Father? Are you concerned at all about the 120,000 employees that Tesla has that make a living off of working in these dealerships and the energy side and the car manufacturing side? Are you worried at all there might be negative effects to their employment if Tesla were to go down?
It is very concerning that the CEO of Tesla has decided to get so political. That's why most CEOs don't do it. Because in my
I kind of just feel bad for this guy. I mean, this guy traveled from the once semi-great nation of Canada. He was so triggered and he jumped through the hoop set up by Trump. And that's the thing, like a lot of these brain-dead goofs with no cognitive function, like Trump is obviously trolling all these goofs and they fall for it every single time. They actually spend money on t-shirts to jump through Trump's hoops. It's just absolutely hilarious. I mean, and the lack of awareness in doing so. I mean, TDS has been going strong since what? 2015 now? I mean, we've had a decade of TDS, the gift that keeps on giving in the realm of comedy, in the realm of Dunning-Kruger stylings. It is the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, it's just absolutely astounding how none of these people have any kind of awareness whatsoever. I mean, wow. So this goof thinks that CEOs don't get political? Oh, man. So he's never heard of Hollywood. He's never heard of the entertainment industry. He's never heard of any of the Hollywood studios. I mean, wow. Wow. He's never seen the advertising from any of these companies. Whew. I mean, this is tough. This is tough. Breaking this down. I mean, it's kind of hard to say society is not collapsing. I mean, when you got goofs like this hallucinating that CEOs and companies don't get political. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I mean, most of the media companies are all pretty partisan. I mean, it's just, yeah, this is kind of weird. Not to mention the donations and all of that. Like, I mean, who thinks Netflix isn't political? I mean, just the level of goof. I mean, it's just so weird. Like, this guy thinks CEOs and companies don't get political? Oh, man. It's pretty weird. I mean, I could bring up all the receipts here and all the donors, the I mean, but what's the point? I mean, does anybody actually think that CEOs and companies aren't political? I mean, that's to be this completely bereft of logic and reason and any kind of common sense whatsoever. I mean, It's just so tough. So I don't even know how to dissect that. I mean, when you're that detached from reality, I mean, it's just weird. Like, certainly Zuckerberg was never political, right? None of these other CEOs were ever political about anything ever in history. I mean, it's just like, where do you go? How do you even dissect this kind of goofery? I mean, it's tough. I feel bad for this guy. He actually seems like he might be a genuinely nice guy. There's just no cognitive function. I mean, there's just nothing there. I mean, wow. Aaron says he is Canadian, Bruce. Hey, let's not disparage all Canucks. There's plenty of decent Canucks out there. Plenty of decent, intelligent Canucks. This goof simply is not one of them. Joe Neal says he means trying to make himself a media He didn't say anything about that. He just said get political. Nobody's talking about media darlings. And obviously, you mean the Democrat media that propagandizes everything? Why would they back Musk if Musk is with Trump? That doesn't make any sense, Joe Neal. Musk thought America would love the idea of Doge. I don't think so. I think he thought his voters would, the Trump voters would, and most of them do. Some of them might not like, some of the side effects of the budget cuts and etc. But they do like the idea of, I don't think anybody who voted Trump because of Musk, especially that contingent, because when Musk came out for Trump, some believe that actually sealed the deal. Also, obviously, the Amish voters came out in pretty big force. I mean, when the Amish had to get involved, things were pretty bad. But yeah, so Lord Zed says, I don't know what Doge is. I avoided at all costs knowing about stuff like that. Are you talking about the crypto, or are you talking about the elimination of wasteful spending? But yeah, Joe Neal, I don't think he meant that at all. I mean, Musk knows that all the Democrats hate him. He knows that the Democrats love wasteful spending, and they would hate the idea of Doge and cutting wasteful spending. So I don't think there were any misconceptions there. Like, Musk knows who's going to hate him, who's going to like him. And so that seems pretty clear cut. I mean, I don't know why you're bootlicking this poor Canuck here, who looks like he's been lobotomized. I mean, there's just no cognitive function.
And it shows a lot of disregard for the employees, for the people who just want to do their job every day. When the head of the company is so partisan, so involved in politics, is essentially acting as a shadow president of the U.S., that is really hard on them. Absolutely.
Okay. Or do you think that maybe the calls to shut down Tesla dealerships and Tesla as a business, we should maybe scale that back because the employees would suffer and lose their jobs?
I'm very concerned, as I say, that the head of Tesla has been so political. No one asked him to do this, and no sensible company or well-run company does the head of a company just involve them in politics. It shows a reckless disregard for Tesla's share price, for Tesla shareholders, for Tesla employees, for Tesla owners.
I mean, does this goof really not remember the go woke, go broke? I mean, when you go this political, like, for example, I mean, I'm not going to watch that trash, but the new Snow White movie was like the worst performing movie or something like that, because they politicized it. They did the whole the woke political agenda, and then what he just said, disregard for all the people that worked on the movie, disregard for all the shareholders, etc., etc. I mean, just the level of goofery in this poor guy. He does seem like a nice guy, though. Like, it's hard not to feel bad for this poor guy. I mean, was he legitimately lobotomized, though? Is that the issue here? Like, is there a physical issue with his brain? I mean, I don't know. Lord Zed says I know about Elon's satanic mommy. The rest is distraction. Oh man, Elon Musk is one shady individual, but again, this poor Canuck is just not making any actual legitimate points. Like, if he started bringing that up, then okay. If he started bringing up Musk's Illuminati connections, okay. That's perfectly fine. But to just be this brain dead and not comprehending that many companies and CEOs are highly politicized. I mean, is this goof born yesterday? I mean, it's just crazy. Lazarus says, I'm not sure that guy is human. Big Pine Sailing, welcome. Goofs galore, indeed it is. Lobotomized goofs here, apparently.
It is a reckless action by Elon Musk, and that should be concerning. We should be concerned as Americans by what he is doing politically.
I mean, you would think, a left-leaning goof would understand pronouns. He just said we as Americans? This guy's Canadian. So, I mean, is he identifying as American for this protest? I mean, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, in his lobotomized mind, can you identify as the citizen of a country that you are not a citizen of, and does that make it legitimate, and should that be recognized? And is a failure to recognize simply fascist bigotry?
Are you an American?
I'm a green card holder.
Oh.
I'm a Canadian citizen.
Okay.
But Americans should be concerned.
Okay.
And I have family who are American. We should be concerned. In fact, everyone should be concerned. Everyone around the world should care, as citizens of the world, the actions being taken by this government.
Absolutely.
But if you care about Tesla, you have to care about the actions of Elon Musk too, because it is deeply irresponsible to do this.
And then, would you be able to publicly condemn the vandalism at the Tesla dealerships and on Tesla cars?
Well, of course, I have nothing to do with vandalism. Why are you even asking me? Why the hell would I know anything about that?
Because the right
I
wing
have nothing to do with that.
No,
That's
I know
fine.
you are.
That's
Just
just
the
a
right
ridiculous question to even ask. Like, why the hell? Why don't we all condemn vandalism? But why are you even asking me? I don't think that's really useful or helpful to ask that question.
Why are you so upset over me just making sure?
Because I have nothing to do with that.
I'm just out here proving that you guys are peaceful and you're not
Anyway,
like the right wing says.
This is not a useful conversation when you ask those questions. But thank you, though. I appreciate it nonetheless.
Well, that goof got totally triggered. And you know why he got triggered? Because he knows that his so-called fellow protesters are all cheering on the violence, as we saw earlier, with the pleading the fifth, the no comment, and the looks. That's why he got so triggered. Otherwise, why would he get so triggered? The goof exposed himself. So maybe he's not completely lobotomized. Maybe it was a partial lobotomy. So he had the cognitive function to get triggered because he knows what those fellow protesters are really like. I kind of still feel bad for the guy. I just can't help but feel bad for that poor goof. He kind of seems like a nice guy. He really does. Rethink has some more harsh words than I do for that individual. Lord Zed says, poor man's Jonathan Lithgow. Oh no, it can't be unseen. Wow, that is so true. Oh man, that is totally a lobotomized Lithgow. Oh man, that is Lord Zed. Wow, that is so on point. Lobotomized Lithgow here. Oh man, now that can't be unseen. Oh man. Oh man. So this is the Canadian Lithgow. That is the Canadian lobotomized Lithgow. Brownie point for Lord Zed here. Stephanie McGuire, welcome. Here, because I just am super entertained by Bruce's voice. You're not entertained by the goofery here? Are you not entertained by the goofery?
what the right wing says.
This is not a useful conversation when you ask those questions, but thank you, though. I appreciate it nonetheless.
It's just disavowing vandalism.
Elon Musk fights against human trafficking.
Yeah.
He does.
I know.
He's with Homeland Security, bro.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is funny. So you out here saying that the store is closing, everything must go. Obviously, you're not working for Tesla, right?
No.
Like, you're not actual employee. The store's not actually closing. Would you be happy to see the store close?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you agree with that? Would you be happy to see it close?
I really just want Musk out of the government.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my main thing.
Okay, so you would be happy to see the store close. Do you have any concern for the 120,000 employees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if the store closed, they would be out of a job. Would you?
I mean, if they just let Elon go, that'll get me a lot closer to being okay with.
You know what's funny? Like, a lot of these narcissists, they don't even try to hide it. Because, like, obviously the only thing that's important is what's okay with them. Not reality, not objective reality of any kind. Not what's right or what is just or what is good. But whether or not they feel okay with things. I mean, where has any kind of maturity gone in the adult population over the past 2 decades? I mean, where did it go? Does anybody know where it went? Because back in my day, I mean, feelings were for toddlers. Feelings were for toddlers.
Okay.
But as long as he stays at the top of their board, like, I can't, he's CEO, like, this money goes directly into his pocket, which lets him do the things he's doing.
Right.
And that I'm not okay with, because I'm not okay with the things he's doing.
Okay. And do you think that a store closing and people losing their jobs would just kind of have to be what it does? Like, that's just kind of how it has to be?
It doesn't have to go that way, but that's one way it can go, if that's what it comes to. And that would be unfortunate. We'd lose a car company, but I mean, it might be what it takes.
Well, also 120,000 people would lose their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of like, but that's just how it has to be.
A lot of people are losing their jobs right now thanks to Elon. So it's a complicated equation. It's not simple on either side of this. Like, and if you're trying to paint it as one thing where just 120,000 people lose jobs or they don't, that's oversimplifying it.
Another interesting projection. I mean, he's got quite the Confederate stash. Is this guy like a liberal or a Democrat? I'm kind of, I don't know. But I mean, he's got quite the Confederate stash, though. But, so he seems overly concerned about some, like, corrupt federal employees losing jobs. And let's say there were some good employees there, even though they're getting paid with stolen loot. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, a lot of these goofs, like, why do Democrats support slavery so much? So, because these people, they're not in the private sector. They're literally being paid with stolen loot. So, whether they're doing a good job or not, because most of them obviously are not. I mean, how often does the government do anything efficiently? Or more efficient than the private sector? Never. It's always more incompetent, more wasteful, more time-consuming. And so, if you're stealing people's money and then paying other people with the stolen money, like, who's going to feel bad about people losing their job that were being paid with stolen money? I mean, that's kind of crazy that this goof is equating that. And why does this goof and a lot of Democrats, why are they so callous when it comes to the private sector? When it comes to people losing jobs, like legitimate jobs where they're actually being paid based on the work of their labor, not with stolen loot of others. So, for example, in 2024, I mean, this was record job loss under Biden after record inflation. I mean, this is just kind of crazy that this goof, I mean, he wants to oversimplify the issue as he just projected, but is this goof that ignorant? He doesn't know anything about inflation or private sector job loss? I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. I mean, look at Biden inflation here. I mean, it's so radical. Then it results in record job loss. Just record job loss. And then also on top of that, as a result of that job loss, there's absolutely record homelessness. So, I mean, these are obviously, some major accomplishments under Biden. You have record inflation, record job loss, record homelessness. And, yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy how this goof, he doesn't give a crap about any of this. But some government employees being paid with stolen money got laid off for incompetency or just not doing anything. And he's all livid about that? I mean, the level of goofery on display. I mean, this is record goofery here in 2025. I mean, this is absolute insanity here. Flapop says, these illogical Goofatorium spectacles of ignorance literally give me a headache. Spectacles of ignorance. That's a very, very apt description of what's going on here. I mean, that is apt. I mean, it's just kind of weird, though, because like, you have these bootleggers. I mean, I guess, if they're all lobotomized, they don't own their own brains, everyone's living rent-free in their deranged minds or whatever's left of them. Like, imagine not caring about all these good people who are earning an honest living and earning their money instead of being paid with stolen loot, instead of stealing from others and being paid with stolen loot. They're actually trying to earn their own way in the world. And, Biden inflation just destroys that. Record homelessness, record jobless. They don't give a crap. But some corrupt government employees being paid with stolen loot, now they're out there protesting. I mean, just the level of goofery here. Can anyone make sense of this level of goofery? It's kind of tough. I mean, I guess it's not really a surprise all these goofs have all the time in the world to go stand outside with a sign thinking that means something. Because if they had brains, they probably, even if their position was correct, I mean, they wouldn't have time to do that. They'd be too busy actually accomplishing things in the world, making the world a better place, or helping their family, helping other people. But clearly, they don't give a crap about any of that.
Well, if he went out of business, say he you guys got what you wanted. He went out of business. He wasn't profiting from this anymore. Tesla got shut down. I just wonder, what would we do with 120,000 employees?
That's actually what I want. I mean, what I really want is for him not to be involved with Tesla, not to be financially profiting from Tesla.
Right.
And there are multiple ways that can happen. And Tesla can make that happen.
Why do you think they won't kick him off?
That's a great fucking question, and I have no answers.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're still sticking with him. It's not working out for them well.
What car should people buy that's an electric vehicle other than Tesla?
That I don't have an answer to. I haven't done a lot of research into alternatives.
Has he done a lot of research into anything? Other than how to grow a Confederate stash?
All right. Thank you for your time.
Not that long ago, I would have said a Tesla.
Okay.
Like, because it was a company I did believe in until Elon Musk started doing the things he's doing today.
You know what else is kind of curious from all these Dunning-Kruger goofs? They always say the things he's doing, or I don't like Trump, the things he's doing are bad, but they can never specify the things. Because they just heard some generic statements on the idiot box, and then they just go out there and protest. Because the cognitive function is just not there. I mean, is the West so doomed now? There's just no hope whatsoever. Bill says, how he eat and not munch on that stash. It's actually even longer than it looks, because it's kind of light colored on the bottom, so it's actually even longer than it looks from this angle, because they were a little closer before. Rethink Inc. says, just another dude out group thinking the cause the news told him to protest. Yeah, pretty much. Flat Bob says, I don't want the owner of a business to make money. That's what I just heard. Yeah, pretty much. Because again, this isn't even about Musk. I mean, Musk is definitely a goof. And yeah, the Illuminati connections, I'm going to have to do a dedicated episode on that, no doubt. And just the fraudulent nature of all of his history. And I'm not going to get into that. But, you know what's funny? Because I'm not sure how fraudulent Trump's business history is. But Musk's actually is. And you don't really hear about it on the media. So it's curious where the propaganda agendas intersect, because the mainstream wants to push space travel and all that crap. So they want to push SpaceX, so they can't attack Musk in the context of SpaceX specifically. It's always curious on the propaganda intersections. So, yeah, it's just, it's really interesting because, yeah, Musk basically defrauded his partner in PayPal. I mean, it all started with blood diamond money from his father in Africa. And then, yeah, I don't know that much about his mother. Supposedly there's some kind of Illuminati witch connection there, but there's also some kind of Illuminati connections with his father and the blood diamond industry. And I haven't gone super far back, but there might be other connections with going back through the family tree. Then he defrauded his business partner in PayPal, not unlike Zuckerberg with Facebook. And these were all possible CIA-backed operations anyway, just like Facebook. But then he buys his way into Tesla and SpaceX and fails to deliver on every single deadline he ever announced. Because SpaceX was already supposed to be doing moon tourism like decades ago. So, and obviously that never happened. But anyway, this isn't a podcast about Musk, but it's curious how all these brain-dead goofs, like, they don't know any of the action. Same thing with Trump. If there are points against Trump, they don't actually know any of them. They just repeat the propaganda points they heard on the idiot box without actually knowing any of them. So they're, even if they're attacking bad people, they're doing it using all the wrong reasons, making them look that much more goofy.
I appreciate your time. Yeah. Thank you. Do you have an alternative that you could recommend to people to buy instead of a Tesla?
I love a Prius, but it's not the most efficient thing on the market these days. I'm not super well versed. I drive an old car, and I'm not in the market anytime soon. But I think it's like either BMW or Mercedes. I was just reading an article, like they appear to be doing better on all the stats. Like, plus also, like, I guess you can't trust the Tesla company. They've lied on so many stats. Like, you have to really look at what.
So you can't trust Tesla, but you can trust all the other companies? that she was reading an article about? What kind of glasses are those? And what kind of earrings are those? Is that the Illuminati hex spiral? The hypnotizing spiral? I need to do a podcast on that spiral. Lot of Illuminati connections there, but those glasses. I mean, that's a bold fashion choice there. I mean, maybe somebody like Steven Seagal can pull that off, but I mean, I don't know anybody else that can pull off those kind of sunglasses.
People are getting in the field versus what they're claiming that they're charging speed times and stuff like that, their range and stuff.
Right. What's the worst thing Elon Musk has done?
So this goof lady, if she's a lady, I don't want to misgender her, but if this lady's a lady, this goof lady's standing out there for the better part of her day, protesting a guy, and she's having this much trouble thinking of something bad the guy she's protesting has done. I mean, obviously, that's why Caitlin Bennett is asking that question, to expose the goofery. But, yeah, I mean, it's just funny.
Not divest himself from his corporate interests while also meddling in our government.
So the only person that has recognized me so far is actually another content creator, Adam. And there's a bunch of MAGA people over there. I'm going to avoid them because I don't want them to recognize me and kind of derail what I'm doing. But this is great. No one has recognized me. Jenna out here, undercover. I feel like an absolute goober. If you guys ever wanted to know if I hate dressing in this stuff, I do. I feel like a straight up goober. Hi, ladies. Thanks for coming out to our event. I really appreciate it.
Okay, you're one of the organizers. Somebody told me somebody filming was from getting information against us, so I was like,
Oh, no, I don't know who that is. Is it the guy in the MAGA hat right there? He's
I don't know. We're trying not to engage.
So what are you out here doing today?
No kings.
No kings.
No Trump. No fascist USA.
Absolutely.
Save our democracy. This has gone too far.
So are you protesting Trump today or Elon Musk?
Well, they're together, aren't they? Didn't he put $275 million? Didn't he buy votes in Pennsylvania? Isn't he in Wisconsin
He voted.
right now?
Wow, she's clearly not lobotomized. I mean, look at that rapid-fire propaganda regurgitation. We have to give this old lady props. She's sharp. She's sharp, like on command, rapid-fire regurgitation of what you heard on the Idiot Box. I mean, obviously no comprehension of anything, but the ability to regurgitate on command with this kind of speed, that's impressive. Especially, like, given the level of goof surrounding her. I mean, that's impressive. To have this rapid-fire regurgitative ability at her age, I mean, I don't know how old she is, but she does not look young. So clearly the brain is not completely fried or lobotomized like some of these other goofs around here.
Wait, what did you say about Pennsylvania?
Yes, didn't he we'll give you $100 to come and register?
USA.
Yeah, Elon Musk
saying,
did that.
So are you saying that there might be voter fraud in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, you know there is. Of course there is. Of course.
So are you saying that there might be voter fraud in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, you know there is. Of course there is.
The maniacal laugh of a mentally gone goof. I mean, that's like such a villainous maniacal laugh straight out of some kind of movie. Oh man, of the mentally insane. Like, how is she not institutionalized? Like, when everything switched from insane asylums to just one giant open air asylum, I mean, would the downfall of the West be linked to that? Because now it's all just open air asylum. One giant open air asylum. She appears to be missing quite a lot of teeth as well.
Of course there is.
Okay.
Elon's in Wisconsin right now trying to buy votes. They're trying to make illegal his lottery to give two people $1 million so if they come and register to vote against the democracy and against the candidate for the Supreme Court in Wisconsin.
Did you see any evidence of the fraud that Trump claims happened in the 2020 election?
Yeah, thank you.
I grew up in New Jersey. The man's a con. He's always been a con. He's for no one but him. He's a liar and a cheat.
Absolutely.
And a fascist and a racist
That's
and a
it.
misogynist and an adulterer and a liar.
Rapist. Don't forget
And a rapist. He's adjudicated guilty of sexual assault. The judge said that was tantamount to the criminal charge of rape. He is
Is this lady's family member? Does insanity run in the family? Tantamount's kind of a big word, you know, for these goofs. Like, we gotta give him a round of applause. Like, her rapid-fire regurgitation, impressive. This guy using multi-syllable words like tantamount. I mean, that's impressive. For the level of goof that usually comes out for these protests, I mean, these two goofs are impressive, I have to say. I'm impressed by this brand of goofery. I am definitely impressed. Now, you know what's kind of interesting? I don't want to go super deep into this, but so this is an interesting form here. So this is a verdict form regarding the E. Jean Carroll situation in Trump. So clearly there is not a preponderance of evidence supporting the allegations that these two unhinged loons are talking about. But even if the jury member did say there were, I mean, it's weird. Like, a lot of brain dead goofs, they think that juries can't be wrong. I mean, it's kind of weird. But why would E. Jean Carroll, why would she be tweeting that she's a massive Apprentice fan in 2012? Isn't that kind of weird? Because if these allegations are actually true, I mean, that's kind of weird. Does anybody think that's kind of weird? So, because she published an article in New York Magazine in June 21st, 2019, where she claimed that Trump assaulted her. She couldn't remember when. She said he assaulted her in the Bergdorf Goodman department store in New York City in either late 95 or early 96. So, despite this, like, how many actual legitimate victims are fans of their assaulters? I mean, maybe some with Stockholm syndrome. I mean, perhaps there are some. But wouldn't, in most cases, for those with functioning brains, would this lead you to believe? Because apparently she said there was not a peep about this until after Trump was president. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? I mean, isn't it? So, like, why would she not make... Because Trump is this huge... And why would she not make this public during the Apprentice days? You know, because you could say, okay, maybe she didn't want to make a big deal out of it, whatever, at the time, but then he just kept getting more and more high profile, and, you know, she couldn't stay silent any longer, whatever. But instead of going public with this, during the Apprentice era, when Trump is back on TV, whatever, because, I mean, even though he was kind of high profile, I mean, he wasn't always on TV. I mean, clearly The Apprentice was one of his most public outings in the mainstream media for a sustained period of time. So The Apprentice ran from 2004 to 2015. So Trump hosted 2004 to 2015 in various roles. So theoretically, if she kind of didn't want to think about Trump, and then, okay, Apprentice comes out 2004, now she could theoretically come out with these statements. Although other people would say, well, why didn't she come out at the time? Whatever. I mean, yeah, sure. But what's curious, not only does she not come out in 2004, but she's actively tweeting about how much of a fan she is of this show hosted by a guy that allegedly assaulted her. That's a curiosity all of these unhinged loons don't seem to find curious. I mean, how much of a coincidence theorist must one be to think E. Jean Carroll is this massive Apprentice fan? Like, would someone be a massive fan of someone hosting the show if the host had assaulted them? I mean, I don't know. Does anybody have any answers here? I do not. Not to mention all these brain-dead goofs who can't fathom that there are always these types of allegations against billionaires and rich and famous people. Now, that doesn't mean they're untrue, of course. But to hallucinate that they're automatically true is obviously quite goofy. Let's get back to these goofs.
Incredibly alleged of having raped a 14-year-old girl. Is that what you want for your president?
Absolutely not.
Everyone, right?
No,
Yeah, which one are you guys talking about?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, and I shouldn't have done that.
You're good, my friend. You're good.
I was talking about our alleged president, our fascist, Nazified idiot.
I mean, isn't this enough here for some kind of intervention? I mean, where are the police officers? Where are the police officers? I mean, I just don't know. I mean, like, if a cop was here, shouldn't they have been put on, like, a 5150 hold? Like a 72-hour psychiatric hold, just from this kind of unhinged lunacy? I mean, who thinks that these are actual functional adults that can take care of themselves and are not a harm to themselves or others? I mean, this is crazy stuff here. But just real quick, is he talking about Trump or Biden? Because I think that's what Caitlin was trying to get at. Because he's talking about some kind of Nazi. Abusing children. Abusing and assaulting children. I mean, is he talking about Biden? Who's he talking about here? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what people are talking about in the chat. Well, Trump was also on WWF programming. Wait, who was in the chat? Lord Zed, were you the one who said that you stopped watching pro wrestling when Trump came in and started dominating, but then he stopped and he never was on again, and then you stopped? You stopped watching because just pro wrestling is just not worth it without the Donald?
moronic,
The Mango Menace?
break our NATO alliance, turn our allies against us, steal our money, throw 71 million people off Medicaid that people depend on. 71 million people. Is this what you want? Do you want money taken from your grandma? Do you want to not support battered women and abused children? Is that what you believe? Stand up and say it, fascists. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry. Let's hear ideas. You have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
Man, such accurate psychological projection. I mean, because what steals more than income tax and inflation? I mean, it's crazy. The federal government has just stolen more than any other entity in history. Larkin Rose, for all his goofery on Flat Earth, he had a very interesting question. Who has stolen more of your money? Random criminal throughout your whole life? Random criminals and muggers, or the federal government? Who's stolen more of your money? I mean, look at this. Over 2,000% leached from the value of the dollar. Because, I mean, who would even need Medicaid and all these social programs if money was 2,000% had 2,000% more value? Like back in the day when a couple $1,000 could buy you a house, when a couple $100 could buy you a car, when you had non-specialized, non-credentialed employees being able to support an entire family with a house, a car, multiple vacations per year, multiple kids and dogs. I mean, that was the American dream. But look at this leeching done by the federal government since the Federal Reserve Act, and then, of course, the income tax. I mean, it's very, very curious here. Very, very curious, but this goof psychological projection so on point in exposing his stupidity and lack of ideas and even comprehending what the federal government has stolen from the lives of all the commoners, of all the good people out there. Because nobody would be crying for any handouts. If you got plenty of land, you're growing your own food, or even if you're just going to the grocery store and doing a week's worth of shopping for a couple of bucks, a couple of nickels. I mean, you don't need Medicaid in that kind of situation when money has that much value. Why would you even need any handouts? I mean, they put the "Don't Feed the Birds" signs up at parks for a reason. But this unhinged goof, the mental capacity, is just not there. It's just not there. But his subconscious mind is working flawlessly in its psychological projection.
A round of applause for that right there. He has been waiting a while for that. Yeah, that was great. What do you think about the vandalism that's going on at Tesla dealerships around the country? And we're not the TV, so you can say whatever you want.
You know, I still for no violence unless we're pushed. I mean, they want us to do violence so they can declare martial law. So that's why I'm against the violence. They are police officers? Okay. Do you want my name?
That's true. I mean, Joe Neal's going to be fighting the good fight in exposing the government. So if you're going to be doing that, Joe Neal, props to you. Props to you. expose CPS and all this, the CIA trafficking, MK Ultra. I mean, all this stuff needs to be exposed. If Joe Neal's going to be a soldier for truth and justice, all we can do is applaud this man. All we can do is applaud this man. The fight against statism is probably the most important fight. Here's an interesting meme here. Statism, the brilliant idea that we give a small group of people the right to kidnap, steal from, and kill us so that we can be protected from people who kidnap, steal from, and kill us. This is always a funny one. And that reminded me, because I just mentioned that Larkin Rose quote about who has stolen more of your money. Just muggers and private sector thieves and gangs, or the federal government, or state government in general. I think it's time for another quote, too. Here it is, Lysander, the great Lysander Spooner. If taxation without consent is not robbery, then any band of robbers have only to declare themselves a government and all their robberies are legalized. So if the Bloods and the Crips just considered themselves a government, it's all good. It's all good. Why is everybody arguing with Joe Neal? Joe Neal says he plans to work with victims of childhood abuse. So he plans to expose the government, the number one exploiter of children. And I don't know how anybody could be against that. Joe Neal says, Bruce, I don't know all that. I'm more of a fan of benevolent statism. That's like, what? That's like saying benevolent evil or benevolent slavery. I mean, how can that exist? That's weird. Statism is the deadliest religious cult in history. I mean, how can killing hundreds of millions be benevolent? I mean, look at the stats here. I mean, this is really, really disgusting. In the 20th century, governments murdered 262 million of their own citizens. That's 7,000 deaths per day over the course of 100 years, 6 times more than died in the orgies of death governments call war. So governments kill their own citizens 6 times more often than the amount of citizens killed by citizens of other countries that go to fight the wars of the banksters. If the 20th century casualties of government were laid head to toe, their corpses would circle the earth 10 times. And again, this has nothing to do with the shape of the earth. I think it's referring to the equator, right? So whether you're a globe earther or a flat earther, whatever circle you want to call the equator, just a circle in the middle of the circle of the flat map or the equator on a globe, corpses would circle that circle 10 times. That's statism for you, folks. I mean, how anybody could be a statist is just insane. I mean, statism is the opposite of benevolence. I mean, I don't know if you can get more opposite than that. Deadliest religious cult in history. I mean, Christianity. I mean, even Islam can't hold a candle to this. I mean, I think Islam's killed quite a bit. Let's look at the Islam casualties. Okay, so Islam massacred 669 million non-Muslims since 622 AD. So yeah, I mean, given if we so so they killed 80 million Christians in 500 years. Governments killed 262 million in 100 years. I mean, the numbers just don't compare. They just do not compare here. Yeah, I don't know why everybody's jumping on Joe Neal here. It's kind of weird. I mean, is there a more noble cause than helping children, especially children that have been abused? I mean, that's quite a noble cause. Especially if you're delivering justice as a result of that and exposing the perpetrators. Justin Johnson's, you have to read all the context. He's an arse. Yeah, I mean, I didn't read every single comment from everybody, but... Okay, let's continue here.
What are you guys out here protesting today? What's the number one thing to be anti-Elon for?
Stop the oligarchy. We want Americans. He's not elected, and he has no business doing what he's doing. We don't want the billionaires taking over our country.
Did these goofs protest this hard against, like, Zuckerberg, for example, when Zuckerberg was censoring everything on Facebook, or Google, censoring and manipulating elections through their censoring? Did these goofs protest this hard, or at all? I mean, just look at their faces here. I mean, these are complete unhinged loons.
Trying to, let me get you on Facebook. Hold on.
Yeah, we're stopping the oligarchy. That's what it's all about.
Did you feel that way?
They pit American against American so that they can pick our pockets.
Did you feel that way when Kamala Harris actually got more donations from more billionaires than Trump did?
I felt like I had a buffer, at least, with the Democrats, and now we have no buffer. Okay, so at least we were fooled with Kamala in there, that we're going to be on a slow bleed, and now we're on the, take it right. I'm living on Social Security, and for the first time...
this girl is interviewing people who know...
My name's Jenna.
Also, Jenna, I'd like to mention that Social Security is not an entitlement. It's something that put in 8% of every one of my paychecks. My employer put in 8%. They did not give me a retirement account because they said you have a government retirement.
Evidently.
Okay.
Look how serious they are.
Yeah, that's why I didn't make money.
Wow.
Who are they here for anyway, It's like someone hired them because they're routinely attacked at events or something.
Yeah, if I was Tesla, I would hire security. There's no, I don't blame them. I've had companies in the past where things happen. I hire security.
Yeah, or perhaps just a little girl who films YouTube videos that gets attacked at these types of events. So would you publicly denounce, or let me know if you think there's any validity to the vandalism that's happening at dealerships?
Those are a different animal. Vandalism is not peaceful protesting. Peaceful protesting is an American right. It's in our Constitution. You're talking animals, versus apples versus oranges.
Yeah. Would you be willing to tell, the people who are doing doing that to the camera? Like if they're watching, stop vandalizing Teslas?
No, because there's no reason for it. Do you see any vandalism?
No, not here. But it's been happening across the country, and people are having their Teslas keyed. Would you be willing to look at the...
very angry.
I wouldn't doubt if it's a red flag situation going on with the Tesla dealers. It's very, very good
Maybe it's an
possibility.
inside job?
Yes. You know.
Yeah. Would you be able just to say, hey, other people who might agree with me, please don't vandalize any Teslas?
Hi, this is what...
Please don't take over. More important.
But would you say, like, please stop vandalizing the Tesla cars?
Please stop vandalizing our government.
Please stop buying them. Also, please stop buying them.
Stop buying the Tesla cars.
Yeah, just like people don't buy Bud Light. Also, people should not buy Tesla cars.
Should people be selling their Teslas?
That's up to the individual. A lot of people bought them before they knew what kind of fascist Elon was, before he took over our government. So people that bought Teslas in the past, I feel sorry for them. They've lost all that value.
What's the car? Do the Sig Heil! Do the Roman salute!
What were you saying to him?
Do the Roman salute.
Yeah.
They won't do it.
Well, probably because they're not Nazis, right?
That's all I'm going to say right there.
What do you think about the people who work for Tesla? Do you think
There's other EV companies. There's a lot of different EVs. That's why people are turning in their Teslas. They don't want to be associated with fascism.
Absolutely. So if Tesla were to go under because you don't want to fund fascists, are you concerned for the 120,000?
How healthy do these people look? I mean, if they spent this time on a treadmill instead of standing by the road, I mean, they could get in some serious shape. They could get in some serious shape. So they don't care about their own health, but they care about showing signs to people driving. I mean, I don't know. I mean, does that make logical sense to anybody? I mean, this is just weird. This is just weird.
Employees that Tesla
There's probably less than the government workers that were fired. Way less.
Well, so we can definitely talk about that, but are you concerned for all those private citizens who would lose their jobs?
They can work for other EV companies. There's other EV companies. This is not the only one.
So why are you more...
probably be taking it over anyway.
So why are you concerned for the federal employees that lost their jobs,
He has
but not...
no legal authority to fire all these government workers.
He didn't fire anybody. He's just an advisor. He can't legally fire anybody.
Okay, I'm done.
As soon as facts enter the equation, she's done. Oh man, Fire Pixie says it was trending on Facebook. What were they supposed to do? Oh man. They could at least get one of those, like, what is it called? Those aerobic steps so they can step on and off while holding the sign. That way, you know, they could at least get into shape while they're protesting. Lord Zed says, imagine if they spent all this time in the kitchen. Well, wouldn't they get fatter if that were true? Well, I guess if they're making food for other people versus themselves. But yeah. Just the level of goofery here, because so technically it was all legal, right? I mean, I haven't spent that much time on it, but Musk was granted some kind of temporary powers. They can be extended. I think they're only through, is it through May something? Through May something, 2025. And then I think it can be extended if necessary. And then Trump basically just hired his own people to do the investigation, to audit and see where the wasteful spending was. So he didn't really do anything himself even, did he? I mean, did he actually do anything himself? I mean, he's on X just sending out random posts, or tweeting on X, if we're still calling it tweeting, even though it's X and Twitter, whatever. But he just mostly hangs out on Twitter all day. He doesn't actually do anything, does he?
Are you working for Fox News?
Oh, maybe one day. I don't know. Hey, Fox News, if you want to...
Fox News, right here.
Well, I'm just wondering, if you're against federal workers losing their jobs, why are you okay with private citizens losing their jobs?
It has to do with
This lady thinks a Fox News reporter is gonna be out there with some, like, one cameraman and some cheapo camera. I mean, I don't know, maybe they do some kind of, I mean, that wouldn't be undercover, though. Like, I know Fox News does some undercover stuff, but she thinks they'd be out there with, like, one guy with, like, a tiny little camera. I mean, is that what I don't know, maybe they do that, but I don't think any major Fox News anchors are going to be going, or Fox News reporters are going to be going to cover stuff without any of the Fox News gear and, like, an actual Fox crew. I don't know what this lady's thinking of. Didn't she say she was done? Okay, I'm done. She stepped off the curb and then stepped right back on and came right back into the conversation as if nothing happened. She doesn't even seem that mad about it as she's continuing the conversation. She got triggered bringing in facts, but then she came right back and now she seems less triggered. And this is interesting. Maybe a split personality.
Tesla.
I know, but I'm talking
There's
about
other
the
EV
employees.
companies. That's okay. People have a right to protest companies they don't like they did Target, like they did Walmart, like they did Amazon. How is this different?
Oh, I think it's different because you don't want this company to. You're saying these employees.
Other companies have been protested against too. What
You're
about those
actively
companies?
saying
You're talking out
that
both
you
sides.
are against federal employees from being fired, but you're okay with these guys losing their jobs.
Well, if
Do you
someone
think the
doesn't
job
like
market-
your product, they have a right not to buy it, right?
People love their product.
Well, apparently their stock is tanked, and Elon is running scared and crying on TV. Yeah, it's doing great. Or Fox News, I'm sure, says it's doing great. When they're trying to hawk the
This lady is also, she keeps stepping into the road. See where everybody's standing on the sidewalk? That's perfectly legal, I guess, if they have the permits, or even without the permits. We're not going to get into that, public property. But obstructing a roadway, that is not part of a protest. So she keeps she keeps stepping into the road illegally. That's kind of interesting. Obstructing traffic and endangering herself and others. And because, again, you're not supposed to be on the shoulder either, because, you know, in case emergency vehicles need access to the shoulder. Or that could also be a bike path, whatever that is.
cars on the front lawn. Yeah, that's very presidential.
Okay, so your sign says, have you no empathy? What has he done that would point to and be like, really, dude, be more empathetic?
He just cuts numbers, and he prides himself on that. He prides himself on the money bottom line, and he doesn't realize the lives that he's affecting, both in the people that are working and the programs that he's cutting.
Right.
He just doesn't get it. The only thing that matters to him is money.
Again, I don't want to assume gender here. Is this a man or a woman? What kind of hairstyle is that? I mean, just like bald on the front half of the head, and then long hair in the back with the ponytail. It's a very interesting hairstyle, if that's intentional. Again, I'm not going to assume it is or it isn't, but that's a very interesting hairstyle. Who knows? Maybe we'll see it sweeping the nation soon enough. Joe Neal says, in countries where central government is very weak, you see groups like the Taliban seize entire countries. Well, here's another question for you, Joe Neal. As horrible as the Taliban is, or some of these other groups, do they cause more or less death and destruction than these strong governments, even strong democratic governments? Like, is there more or less death and destruction by groups like the Taliban in their local areas than when strong governments get involved and take over. See the image on the screen for reference. A small band of any kind of small criminal group is never going to be able to do as much damage as a so-called strong government. Just like you have the several million square miles of Zomia, the land of the ungoverned for thousands of years. I mean, supposedly even Genghis Khan didn't want to mess with those people because they just don't want to be governed. And so I'm sure they have some kind of crime, but it'll never be on the level of the kind of crime a strong government is capable of executing. Just look at, Russia or China. Random gangs would never, or mafias would never be as powerful because the strong central government has way more power through the exploitation of the citizenry in various means, whether it's taxes or otherwise, taxes, workforce, whatever. They'll always be more powerful. Like, they wouldn't have the resources to just go on all these wars and do all of this killing both in their own country and in other countries if not for that strong central government.
That's what this is all about.
Okay, all right. What kind of consequences would you like to see Elon Musk or Tesla as a company have?
I would like them to have rock bottom profits.
Okay.
So that he has to consider, do we keep it? Because he's got charging stations everywhere. He is quietly taking over the country.
With the charging stations?
Yes. And I would like to see his business really hurt. I would like him to be as upset as all these people that lost their jobs.
Okay. Talking about people who lost their jobs, well, I don't know you, so I would like to be your friend, but I don't know who you are, so we aren't on that level of relationship yet. But maybe we can hang out later and become friends. Are you concerned about the employees? He has about 120,000 employees worldwide. Would you be worried about them losing their job?
She won't admit who she is.
Man, please don't mansplain.
Isn't it funny how all these Democrat goofs who are all about acceptance and all of this are actively trying to prevent people from talking to other people? So he's got a sign that says Tesla funds fascism while trying to fascistically stop someone from speaking to somebody else. Like actually physically blocking a camera from recording an actual conversation and interrupting this woman with this very bold hairstyle choice, if it's intentional, interrupting her private conversation that she entered with her own free will. And now this goof is trying to fascistically shut down a conversation. I mean, just the lack of awareness here is just insane. Joe Neal says, all that on the screen is the birth pains of the movement away from colonialism. What are you talking about colonialism? Like, there was colonialism in Iraq? Wait, what are you talking about? Those weren't birth pains. I mean, those were pains by other governments coming from other places and getting involved with locals. Joe said, I'm not in favor of heavy-handed government. Is there any other kind? Power corrupts. I mean, that's just basic psychology. You can't have government without corruption, because a government without power is not a government. That would be a voluntarism type setup. Government is all about the utilization of violence to control people. So by definition, it can't be good or benevolent in any way. So you're just kind of saying, well, they shouldn't be too heavy-handed. Well, who's going to prevent them? Like, who's going to prevent or modulate how heavy-handed they are? Because by the very nature of them being government, you would have no choice in that. So you'd be subjugated. You would prefer, you're not one of those govern me harder daddy type of people. You're like govern me softly. Like you want to be subjugated and oppressed softly, like not too much. Maybe to the point where you don't even consider yourself subjugated and oppressed. That's what makes you comfortable, but they have no obligation. They have no obligation to cater to your whims about how you want to be subjugated. I mean, these are just the core tenets of government itself. I'm actually kind of surprised that you didn't seem to think about that before. Since 1900, all the warring has been related to the breakup of various European empires. But you're just proving my point further, because those European empires were governments. They were powerful governments. Just like, I mean, some of them had nothing to do with Europe. I mean, you had you had Arabian empires, and that's what Iraq was. I mean, was there a European empire in Iraq? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what European empire was in all of these Middle Eastern countries? Like, we're not talking, I mean, obviously some of them, but the ones on the screen, I mean, what are you talking about? But even if there were, that only proves the point about how power corrupts. So it doesn't really matter whether the governments were homegrown or European. There would be no European colonialism without government. So you're just proving my point further, or the point against statism. Because by the nature of being a government, they were able to amass the power to be colonial powers and go to these other places and cause problems. But that's not what happened with those particular countries. Just like in certain African countries where there was no colonialism. I mean, Africa's pretty big. Obviously, there was colonialism in certain places in Africa. But in other places there weren't. It was pretty wild, and they had their own local governments, corrupt or otherwise, and they had a lot of problems with war, etc. And then, when America or NATO gets involved, it's just that much more people are getting killed, and there's that much more corruption. So not that it was good before, but it's just the more government always makes everything worse. As you can see from, Afghanistan, Iraq, like all these wars. The Vietnam situation, basically just the more government is involved, the more everything gets worse. War situation, non-war situation. But let's continue with this madness here. Oh, I just saw your comment there, by Joe Neal. The Brits controlled Iraq. Well, you're missing the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire is not a European empire, is it? So the Ottoman Empire entered World War I on the side of Germany, which is why Britain and France... now Britain and France were fighting against the Ottomans. Now, the Ottoman Empire was a result of the Ottoman dynasty for hundreds of years. So this is not a European empire, but it is a government no less. It was actually one of the most powerful states in the world in the 15th and 16th century. It's one of the most powerful governments in all the world. Now, you keep proving my point, how they were only able to get to that level of power by statism, by the subjugation of the people under them and exploitation. Because there wouldn't even be able to be a world war if there weren't governments. So now you just have governments against other governments. So the power of the Ottoman Empire is what caused the British to be involved in Iraq and some of these countries, but they actually didn't have all of Iraq. They had some bases there, and they were training the Iraqi army. Because Iraq was independent, by 1930 or something? So you're talking about just a couple years. You're talking about a number of years, and the British were only, Iraq's kind of big. They were only in a couple of certain areas. Now, obviously, they had ongoing wars after that. Then you have World War II and all of that. But again, none of that would have happened if not for the powerful Ottoman Empire. And just like in all of these other Middle Eastern countries, however bad the local government is, other governments become involved, particularly the West. Everything just gets worse. I'm not really sure what point you're making, because you just keep illustrating how statism causes death and destruction everywhere. And the more powerful the states, the more damage they can do in other states. And it's just like a snowball effect. Because a lot of these countries with Arabic or Islamic dynasties, everything always gets worse once the West gets involved. And in British colonialism wouldn't even be possible if not for the powerful government of Britain. So if the British weren't taxing their citizens and exploiting them, they wouldn't even be able to engage in the colonialism that you're blaming, which is quite fallacious. The Ottomans weren't exclusively Turkish. And only a tiny part of Turkey is in Europe. It's considered West Asian. It's considered West Asia. Only a tiny little part of it borders Southeast Europe. So it's predominantly non-European. So that's quite a fallacious way of looking at it. I think it's like something like 98% non-European. It's like 1 or 2 or 3% are in Europe, so practically nothing. But anyway, let's continue here without getting sidetracked further. Obviously, statism is the problem. Colonialism is statism.
Don't mansplain to her. That is disrespectful to talk to a woman like that and tell her what to do. Do not mansplain another woman. Do not mansplain her.
You want to, but I highly advise that you do not speak.
She doesn't need your advisory. She's a strong woman.
I'm not ashamed of what I say.
It's not a matter of what you're saying, it's where it's going to. That's all I gotta say.
Who are you working for?
My name's Jenna. I work with Feminist Camp.
You work with who?
Feminist Camp. Yeah. So would you be concerned about the 120,000 employees from losing their jobs if Tesla were to tank?
You know what? I don't want them. I don't wish them any ill. But they're not going to be cut off with a bad recommendation.
Is it kind of like just collateral that that's kind of what would have to happen?
No, it's not. It's when Trump sent out the emails, he also sent out, well, Musk, sent out the letter saying that their work was subpar. And that was a double blow.
Okay.
Let this be a single blow.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate
Joe, in the chat, you keep missing the point, though. The point is, the more government is involved, the more everything gets worse. And that's basically statism. Whether it's local, then you have, you know, the U.S. or the Western powers becoming involved in the world. Like, the more governments get involved, the more everything gets worse. That's the point. And you were kind of arguing against it for some reason, but... And good on this lady for ignoring that goof guy that was trying to fascistically shut down the conversation. That's hilarious.
Stay hydrated out here. It's a little warm. Welcome to the protest.
Well, what are we fighting for?
Yeah, so they want Elon Musk to go.
All right, I'm here. We're all. I agree.
You agree?
Yeah.
What's the worst thing Elon has done?
Have 7 different 50 Facebook accounts, trying to be a womanizer with 14 kids, and he's not a good father at all. He sucks as a father. He's never there for his kids.
Huh?
Oh, are you a scam?
Yes, she is.
No, I don't know what that means. That seems derogatory.
She's just fake wearing a shirt.
What? There was someone else here filming. I don't know if that's what they mean. It was another woman. She was like, MAGA crazy lady. You know, I don't believe in that crazy stuff.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so, deport Elon Musk. Where are we sending him to?
Well, somewhere else other than here. Okay. I mean, I think he's, I'd like to deport him to prison, you know. That would be very nice, you know.
What crimes has he committed?
Well, I think he has illegally unemployed, if you'd like to use the word, thousands of federal workers. And that's just a start. I think he has illegally seized private information of you and you and you and you and me. And I think that that's illegal. So.
Okay. How
You know what else is kind of funny? These same goofs, these Democrat goofs, these were the goofs that ignored the so-called conspiracy theorists when they were blowing the whistle on government spying like decades ago. Everything from Snowden, Assange, like, though all of the Democrats were saying, oh, that's crazy conspiracy theory. Now all of a sudden they have a problem with their data being seized. Wait, Lord Zed, what are you talking about? Carrot Top is the great stand-up comedian of all time. When did I state that Carrot Top was the greatest? I'm not even sure I gave my opinion. I just think he's crazy. I think he's pretty funny and crazy. Nowhere did I rank him in any way. I just said he seems to have a whole lot of money. And then, was it his father that worked for NASA? I kind of forgot. I have to do a clip from that Q&A. We were talking about Carrot Top. But I'm surprised Carrot Top hasn't done some kind of collaboration with Steven Seagal. That would be quite legendary.
Has he done that?
Well, he has accessed that. In fact, he made that a very strong point. That his very young, very inexperienced crews should be given access codes to all people's personal information. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay.
How do you protest? You want to get your voice out. Why wouldn't you give it to someone that...
Actually, I think we're about to break the internet. I spoke too soon. I just fact-checked myself. Apparently, Carrot Top and Steven Seagal are actually pretty good friends. This is incredible. I wonder what the details of this meeting were. So this was February 15th, 2006. Man, if only we knew what they were talking about at this meeting. Can anybody identify the person in the mirror? There's this guy in the mirror. I wonder if this is some kind of project meeting for some kind of movie that never happened. Are we about to break the internet here? Who knew that Steven Seagal and Carrot Top were buddy-buddy? Justin Johnson says Illuminati confirmed. Justin also says they look like twins. Lord Zed says MINDSHOCK of the century. Oh, man. Darth Mocker says Bruce Carrot Top need to rethink this follow. I never ranked him anywhere. I don't know where Lord Zed is getting this. Like, I'll clip the... all I said about Carrot Top is I think it's very unusual that he has, what, 11-figure net worth? Is he worth more than like $100 million or something? Like, he was making more money than Britney Spears, who's way more popular. And he doesn't even sell records. I mean, Matt, we really have to do an aside here, because now I want to know what these two guys were talking about. Did we miss out on the most legendary movie of all time? I mean, who could imagine if these guys actually made a movie? I can't find any more information about this meeting. So this is Getty Images here. It says date created February 15th, 2006. I don't know if that means the date it was uploaded. Well, no, it says uploaded October 3rd, 2008, but date created like on the website? Or is this metadata on when the photo was actually taken? Uh-oh. Yeah, it looks like it was around 2006. There's really no other information here. Okay, I found the exact date. It's February 15th, 2006. It was in Vegas. It was backstage at the annual Pollster Concert Industry Awards. And is anybody surprised? Is Steven Seagal also involved in that? What the heck is going on? He's at the Pollstar Concert Industry Awards. It's a trade publication for the concert and live music industry. What the heck is Carrot Top doing there? I mean, obviously Steven Seagal, one of the greatest musicians of all time, possibly the greatest living guitarist and vocalist. Okay, I found a blog here from 2006. Steven Seagal and Carrot Top are friends. Isn't it about time that somebody got Steven Seagal and Carrot Top to make a movie together? It could be a touching story about a boy and his dog and their journey through adolescence. Carrot Top could play the dog who gets killed halfway through the movie by a gang of Colombian drug dealers. This causes Steven Seagal to hunt down the killers, culminating in a spectacle scene in the depths of East New York. Can you spell box office gold? So, I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that would be a heck of a movie. I would watch it, that's for sure. Yeah. I wonder if they've ever commented about each other. But yeah, no, I just did a quick fact check. I was so sure that these two did not know each other. But man, does Steven Seagal know absolutely everybody or what? All right, let's continue here.
Who are you?
I'm just a guy Tesla that.
Are you work here?
No.
Oh.
I'm my car, dropped my car off, and now I'm
Oh,
having a
yeah.
field day.
Well, can I ask you for your opinion about this stuff? Okay. All right. Yeah. Come here with me.
Is it a recall fix or just a regular fix? No, my tire is out of balance.
So you just came to have your car serviced because the tire messed up, and then you see this happening out here. What was your first initial reaction?
I was supposed to just drop the car off and go home, and I told my wife, absolutely not. I was born for this. I just love out here antagonizing them, and they're just so...
You sound like me.
Yeah. It's so great.
What was he trying to say to you? Because he refused to talk to me.
Yeah, so I'm trying to ask them like specifics, right? Like what I actually want to engage with them, and like I'll talk to them. Some of them just shout at you and won't, no conversation. This guy actually had some, engagement, and I was asking him, okay, specifics. What is it? He's saying they're going to cut his Social Security. I was like, have they cut your Social Security? Because I'll be out here with you. Like, I have family on Social Security. No, they haven't cut my Social Security. They're going to cut my Social Security. Okay, when did they say they're going to cut? Because I heard the opposite. I heard that they're not. Matter of fact, last night Elon just did a thing. We're not cutting your Social Security. So where are you hearing that? They're not cutting your Social Security. And then I asked, it wasn't him, it was a different guy that engaged with me, and I said about. I said, do you agree that there's some waste and fraud in the government, specifically Social Security? He was also complaining about a Social Security. And he said, yeah, there's waste and fraud. I was like, do you agree that there's people 120 years old plus on the Social Security records? He's like, I'm sure there's some of them. I was like, so do you think that they should be cut? Yeah, well, they shouldn't just go with a hammer, and they should, go to Congress. And I'm like, well, if the government, the president is the executive of the United States, he has to make decisions, right? So if the president detects or the executive detects fraud in an organization, whether it's the government or a business, how soon should he cut that fraud? Should he let it go on for a day, a month, a week?
That's good.
How long should that go on? And the guy agrees, like, immediately. I was like, well, that's exactly what they're doing. So we agree. You're out here peddling media talking points instead of actually getting down to what these guys are saying.
That's good. Yeah, I like that. That's good. So how long should we allow fraud to happen? Do you think that if this was the other side of the aisle, if Kamala had somebody in there finding all this fraud, do you think they would be out here protesting anybody to do with her? Would they be championing saving money from the taxpayers?
You wouldn't hear anything about fraud if Kamala got into the office. They're uncovering stuff that I didn't even think that they thought they would uncover. As in, that money is just funneling out of the government. Taxpayers are paying these NGOs and these nonprofits, right? And then the nonprofits are paying their executives these ridiculous salaries, which then fund campaigns, right? And it's basically the taxpayers' dollars, from what it looks like, it's going all the way around to fund these campaigns. And I think it was this guy I was talking with. He said, well, or it was a lady said it. She said, well, where is all the indictments? Where is all the prosecutions for all this fraud and abuse? And I says, I 100% agree with you. I just had this conversation with my wife and my dad.
They won't engage with me.
Well, they found out who you
They
are.
don't like me.
They found out.
They don't like me. Because of your guys' support, I always come out here prepared with security. It was needed today. I appreciate them so much. And you can go to patreon.com/CaitlinBennett if you would like to continue supporting me and my work and keeping me safe out here. She did an amazing job today. I'm really proud of her. Do you think the store will be closing after your guys' efforts today?
I'm not talking to you.
I think we both know it didn't do anything.
You know what else is kind of weird? I mean, just the lack of cognitive function in saying, I'm not talking to you. I mean, that's talking. Saying words is in a direction of a person is talking. So telling someone you're not talking to them is talking to them. I mean, just the level of gopher right here. I mean, wow.
Okay, we are going to let these people have a little rest here, where I'm going to go off to another event, so hit that subscribe.
So there you have it. Yet another edition of the Goofatorium series. Plenty more to come. So, Okay. Any final thoughts from everybody on this level of goofery here? Supposedly functional adults who don't appear to be cognitively functional. Yeah, Phil, this was live. Did you just get here? You missed everything. Justin says brainwashed and indoctrination 101. Joe, are you talking about Pittsburgh or Philly in terms of what the video was? I think that was Tampa, Florida, if I remember correctly. Phil says, wait, let me light up. Yes, I missed it all. Jay Edgerton says, bring back Legends of Goofery featuring Jaren. Legends of Goofery. Yeah. Lord Zed says, what an amazing night, Bruce. Thanks, so much fun. Aaron says, thanks, Bruce. It's important to be reminded. I've talked about this all the time. I think we are witnessing the collapse of Western civilization in real time. Whether it can be reversed or not, that remains to be seen. I think all of this Trump stuff, just like term one, I'm not even going to call it stopping the bleeding. I don't think it could even do that. And then you never know how many of them are compromised. Obviously, I wouldn't trust Musk for anything. Is he being used as a useful idiot? Is it all MK Ultra? Does he even not understand what he is doing from the microchips and all the other stuff? Who knows? And then obviously, Trump. The curious thing about Trump is he the Antichrist? He has all the ingredients of one, but if he's not the Antichrist, he also has a lot of the ingredients of the good guy trying to help when he doesn't have to, given his position. So that's what's curious, because the Antichrist, point by point, has the appearance of the hero saving everybody. So it's very, very tough. It's very, very tough. But when I first heard people talking about the collapse, that we're witnessing the collapse of civilization in real time, I probably heard that first, maybe even in 07, 08. And my immediate response was an appeal to incredulity, logical fallacy. Like, no way. What are you talking about? Like, just the level of technology. And things hadn't gotten quite that bad back then, even though they were pretty bad. But, yeah, no, now the slide has been so obvious since the event of 2020. But just going back and trying to pinpoint it, we've done this on many live Q&As. Apparently, it was like 2011, 2012. Those 2 years, there was a mass tipping point into just goofery. Possibly the point of no return, but we will see. We will see. Justin Johnson says, this is the apocalypse, the end of ignorance and complacency, the great awakening. Yeah, after the collapse, who knows what can rise. But, yeah, quite tough. But these people are out there walking the streets pretty crazy in this open-air asylum known as the United States. Big Pine Sailing says, hard to tell, but I'd hope so. I don't trust any man to save us, but I'll take the wins when they come. Well, also something that hasn't been talked about, if he is a good guy, that doesn't mean he won't be manipulated, either MK Ultra or otherwise. So his intentions could have all been good, and that could all be usurped and co-opted by evil forces as well. A lot of people don't go over that theory. They think he's either just good or evil, and that's it. Justin says, the invisible enemy is no longer invisible. Yeah, a lot more people are awake, but it's weird. It's like you have both extremes are more extreme. So the dumber people are way dumber, but then the more awake people are more awake than ever before. But yeah, it's kind of hard to get an exact bead on the numbers. And then how many NPCs are there? And then, there's a lot of theories with that as well. But I will round this out for now. And MindShock will reconvene for more logical analyses in the days to come. Some big podcasts and analyses coming. Big Pine Sailing says, even the awake are susceptible to manipulation. Absolutely. Hope everybody enjoyed another edition of the MindShock podcast. If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal. Just check the link in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here, the Bruce McGuire channel, the home of MindShock. Like and share Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon. This is Bruce McGuire signing off. Catch you guys next time.